we're live. Welcome, everyone, to episode 68 of Andrewcast. To my left, as always, is the all-knowing Sheldon Fogel.
How we doing?
Decided to drop in today after a long, hard day of American work. Thank you so much.
I hate it.
To the right of him, we have a very talented person. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Appreciate that.
We have Ace, who is the creator of Aceadelic Productions. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Yeah, which is pretty much a production company crew that primarily, correct me if I'm wrong, you do a lot of local Philadelphia music artists' music videos and visuals for them. And so I've seen a lot of really cool stuff from, I saw a video of a dude waking up in the forest with like body paint all over him to just, I've been exploring your Instagram all day, man. And it's really cool stuff.
Yeah. And the one I really like is the girl, she was rapping. It was with a guy's voice, she was rapping, and how you were playing with your shots was dope. I think she was in a head wrap.
Oh, yeah, that's what I shot recently.
Do me a favor, just get a little closer. Yeah,
that's one I shot recently with Mike Crump and Ray Diaz. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing her last name correctly, but it was fun. It was really fun because it was kind of simple,
right?
And we didn't have anything that deep planned for it.
Yeah,
but we just wanted to show a black woman and kind of like, just show more of that.
Right.
That's cool.
And it was a cloudy day, and I love cloudy days.
Yeah, because there's no harsh shadow hitting the face, and now you got the brow casting these shadows over the eyes. It looks terrible.
Light.
Yeah.
They say that the peak production hours for like outdoor movies is like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. It's like the perfect time when the sun is not overcasting on anyone's face. Yeah, so it's like this very short window during the day that people like to film in.
Probably get some sick, warm colors too.
It's all about shadows, man. Like you don't want your shadows to ruin anything, and it would give it like a dramatic effect. But you seem like the type of guy that watches music videos for fun. Like I texted my buddy the other day.
24/7.
Yeah, I was like, "What are you doing, man?" I said, "Are you coming out tonight?" He's like, "No, I'm just staying in and watching music videos." I'm like, most people would say like I'm watching a series or I'm watching Netflix. He's just watching music videos. So I have to ask you before we get into anything else, as a visionary, as somebody who does this all the time, what's your favorite? What's the one you always look to? Like, dang, I'm trying to make something like that.
Or even genre. What genre specifically has?
So I feel like with songs and with movies, I have a hard time picking the one or the top three.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But with music videos, anything directed by like Brother, they're a group, two guys, just like crazy visuals. Their music video with Travis Scott, Goosebumps, Butterfly Effect. They did the Weeknd's music video, Party Monster, I think.
It's a dope one.
Cometazine's recent music video too. They've done a lot. I feel like they've done a lot.
Lyric Lemonade, is that a guy? I don't know if I'm...
Lyrical Lemonade, that's the brand or the company led by Cole Bennett. Cole Bennett's really awesome too. I feel like that's my second as of right now. Although a Brother, I feel like it's true to what I kind of see myself doing in the future. I guess with my own twist, somewhere down the road.
And are you still a student right now?
No, I graduated last year. So
Congrats.
Thanks. I graduated from Community College of Philadelphia with my associates for photography.
Yes.
Yeah, but I enjoy video more than photos.
Well, no, it shows. I mean, you're definitely one of those people that are going out and getting it like beyond your class. I feel like we talked about this before on the show, but like your main thrust of energy that you use every day is for your stuff outside of school. It's for your art that you're working on. Like I saw you with your team and you guys were just super professional. And it's funny, man, when we were on the set of the Lynda video, like I was watching you work and I was like, oh, he's done this 1,000 times. You're like, all right, everyone's got to be quiet. You're like quiet on the set. We got to do it one more time. And you didn't get antsy like how many times you had to repeat shots because you knew that you would need it like the same thing 5 or 6 different times, you know?
Right.
And it's just, it's weird when you're working with people in a production like that because they don't understand like how many times that you actually need it. Yeah. So they're like, oh, like, is this really necessary? But you're like, 2 of these takes I'm probably not going to be able to use at all.
Yeah.
4.
I feel like after 3 takes and you start to get the artist warmed up, and honestly, I think that's what's more important than compared to anything else, because no matter where we are, no matter where they are in the music video, if their personality just kind of shines through, that's just like phenomenal. I mean, I think some of the best music videos that I really like are the ones where I feel like I'm watching this person, this artist, be a person on camera, whatever, no matter what persona they put on. Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell that you're trying to get them to act natural. That's where all of this is like going, you know?
Yeah.
That's why there's so much of this. It's not even pushing. It's just more like we need to, because when a camera comes on initially, people act like they're not going to be camera shy.
Yeah.
They're totally like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's film. And then as soon as everyone's quiet, because naturally, if you're in a room and someone's being recorded, everybody looks at the person that's being recorded.
Right.
Yeah.
And mentally, they're not ready for that.
And that's when the person gets cotton mouth.
Right. That's when it's just like a big thing. And you're probably so used to seeing that, just like, all right, well, here goes the intro stage.
It is. And like even being in front of the camera right now, I'm kind of like, but I think like if people just kind of get out of their head a little bit, if we could just kind of crack through that, that would be great. And this kind of reminded me of that one time Jamie Foxx like does an impersonation of Quentin Tarantino, when they're on the set of Django Unchained. I can never say that. So when they're on the set of that movie, Jamie Foxx comes in all cocky, you know, and he's playing like this character of a slave, right? And
I remember the scene. It was a whip cracking scene.
Yeah. So he's like cocky on set and everything, right? He's got that, you know, he got man money, you know, he's got all these great things going for him. And then Quentin's like, cut, you know, like, and then he pulls Jamie Foxx aside and he's like, listen, man, you know, and he goes into his whole spiel. Like, imagine what Quentin Tarantino would say and what he would sound like. That's exactly what kind of came across when Jamie Foxx was doing his impersonation. But he was basically telling him, like, look, like, you got all this thing going, you know, all these things going for you, and you're up here, like, super fucking suave, you know, and he's like, you need to stop. Like, you're a slave, man. Like, you know, you're not. you gotta. Yeah. And he's like, I knew this shit would happen.
Dude, probably working with Quentin's probably like the most humbling experience because he'll just be like, dude, I don't give a fuck who you are.
Nah,
You're gonna portray this character that I envisioned.
It definitely comes across in a lot of his interviews. Like, did you see the one where like they were asking questions about the content of his movie, and they were like, what kind of parent would take their kid to go see your movie? And he goes, awesome parents. He's like, if your parents were cool, they'd take you to see my movie. Like, he totally just played them.
Bro,
is that your favorite director, right quick?
Yeah, Quentin.
It was funny.
I think
he's in my top 3.
Quentin's in the top 3, and mainly because he's just a big name. Like that really can't be helped. You know, I really don't know any small directors, and I'm like, oh, you know, that's my favorite director. Like, my favorite directors are the big guys because that's a goal, you know, to be one of the big guys. But I feel like Spike Lee is really good, although I haven't watched his movies back to back, which I want to get into. You know, I want to get into a lot of his movies, but it's weird. I end up watching a lot of movie analysis on top of music videos.
I'm like that too.
I watch a lot of movie analysis before even watching the like movie itself. You know, that kind of strips the fun out of it a little bit,
but it takes the magic away a little bit too.
Yeah, but I feel like it adds another element of magic. Yeah, because I'm in it, and I'm like, I see what he did there. You know, he literally painted in his one movie, I forgot what it's called, but in his one movie, he literally like painted like buildings like red to emulate that sense of heat that was being felt that day, just to add more to it. And it's crazy. Like, that attention to detail is what I've noticed that a lot of good directors
There's this YouTube channel. I forget what channel it is. It might just be a magazine, but depending on popular movies, they'll bring on the directors. And the one that stands out to me was when they brought Ryan Coogler on for Black Panther. And he was breaking, I don't know if you saw Black Panther, but he was breaking down the scene when they were in the Korean casino, and like how many cameras were actually on set, and how many, like, he was like, obviously he was the main director, but how many like mini directors he had just for this section in the casino, that section in the casino, and then this one camera that was going between. It was like a whole team that was just moving this one camera from this camera. It was next to camera A, and then they were going through it and moving it near camera B to like C and D, and it was just nuts. I'm like, dude, like, you know how many times you had to probably shoot that scene, and if you don't get it right once, how much money is just gone?
And that
right
scene
there.
is like 5% of the movie, probably less. Probably
That scene's 5% of the movie, and probably costs, I want to say, 15 to 20 grand per like reshoot.
I'm sure,
just redoing it.
It's just like when a lot of people are involved, you have a lot to be accountable for, especially in a dense area and a dense location.
Yeah.
You know, you're packing so many people in one place. And I mean, I did watch the movie and I enjoyed it. And I feel like that part was really short in the movie compared to everything else. Like, obviously.
It was a dope scene too.
But it was great. Yeah, it was phenomenal. It felt like it flowed. I didn't feel like, oh, I'm watching a movie.
And then took us right back outside, and I was like, I just want a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever run into trouble on these music video shoots where like stuff goes completely wrong, or like the artist doesn't want to do it? Like, is there ever times you're like, dang, son, like I feel like this is a bad idea coming out here to do this?
I don't know. I haven't had an experience where I'm like, I regret this, but there's been some times where I felt like, oh, I'm not doing this again. Not doing this location again. Not working with this person again.
Yeah, because artists can be tough to work with, man.
Yeah. Not as bad as I thought or heard. You know, because everyone's got their own personality, and you know, with a lot of these artists, if you could tell from my page, it's stuff that we've done again and again. Like, I've worked with them over and over. Yeah. And a lot of them are like personally my friends. And I feel like that's sometimes the best. Some of my best work comes from working with my friends. Cool. And especially working with some of my best work is working with people that I've worked with before. Yeah. And then some of my better work is work that I've worked with my friends. That alliteration.
Because you could be harder on your friends too to get the perfect shot.
Yeah. I feel like
that's true.
I'm just like, look, we gotta do this. I'm like Quentin in that one moment. I'm like, listen, man,
we're gonna get our shit together.
Yeah, because you seem pretty level-headed. Like, when I was watching you that night, I was like, this guy doesn't look like he gets mad. Or
yeah,
I appreciate the guys that do get mad. Like, just like, yo, everyone quiet on my set.
And your team was professional too, man. Like, they just swooped in and they did their thing.
Yeah. So my DP for the day was director Jay from Jay Visuals. He's phenomenal. Like, he's 19 and I'm 22. Right. He's 19, I believe, and he's been doing it since he was like 17. Nice. Wow. And just, I'm like, yeah, like that's motivation, you know. I mean, I've been doing it for the past 2 years, right. But before that, I wasn't doing it at this level or professionally. You know, I think
hobbyist.
Yeah, more hobbyist, just kind of being at school, finishing school projects. And I feel like a lot of that mundane stuff, not only does it suck the fun out of it, but a lot of the times, well, sometimes this sucks the fun out of it, especially out of editing. It's just when you're doing everything technical, it's like, but sometimes it just, I look back and I'm like, that did come in handy. Like, I'm glad I was there, and just being disciplined. You know, I really like a sense of discipline in the craft. As far as like technical stuff, besides that, like, I don't think it really matters.
I got you.
Yeah.
Now, did you major in film?
No, I majored in photography.
Okay.
So photographic imaging, and then I took some film classes.
Sweet.
Like, some had a fun, and then some were just electives. Yeah.
So then my question is, did you always want to do this? And if not, like, when did you find out that you wanted to do this specifically? Like, were you always into photography, or?
I was into photography ever since like the end of freshman year of high school. I went to an art high school, the Arts Academy in Benjamin Rush, and I believe
that in Philly?
Yeah. That's not too far from here. It's near Franklin Mills.
Okay.
But technically, it's in Philly.
It's an art high school.
Art high school.
Dog, why wasn't I? Why was I? What? That sounds fun, man.
It was refreshing, man.
Dang.
Like, just because I went to middle school in Feltonville, and that area was just like, it was just bad. Like, public schools are pretty terrible, and that, I mean, Rush was a public school. I mean, is a public school, but it's just, it was small compared to where I went to. and I felt like I had a lot of freedom that I didn't have before. Everyone coming up in a, like, not a great middle school and stuff like that, especially in like a lower economic region. I think like not a lot of focus or money gets put into the arts, like at all, and it's really disheartening because I feel like there's a lot of social problems that could be resolved through art, to a degree. I mean, honestly, that's just how I feel, right. And I feel like I got an outlet in high school that I didn't have before, and I feel like that still impacts my work to this day. Like, it just comes out of whatever I do. It has this undertone of resiliency, right. Whether like rebelling against the institution or in whatever way. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's just that there's that undertone of there's the struggle going on, and hopefully I get to portray that, whether it's through a fun shoot or through a more serious shoot. I mean,
I think that's a great thing about like film and photography is that you can almost see, or you can see the director, in your case, the director's imprint throughout the shoot or the photo. You can, without it moving for, we'll say photograph, I mean, you can almost feel what's going on. You can see what's going on. If there's color, the color's trying to trigger an emotion. If there's no color, it can still trigger an emotion. There's a lot of power behind photography and even film. Like silent films, even without even dialogue, you could watch them go on, next you know you're crying.
Yeah.
Because it just responds to something that you're seeing that's either relatable factor or you feel empathy to what you're watching.
Well, imagery is a universal language, man.
Yeah.
That's why they say that, like, the crazy thing about cartoons and animation is that no matter where you are in the world, like, you can pick up that emotive that comes from like a hand-drawn face.
Right.
It's just like, it's so strange how we're all connected by visual language.
Right.
That's why when you go to most countries, not America, well, you see it here. Yeah. When you see like a "don't cross" sign, like it's somebody walking, like that's how hooked we are on like visual stuff. So I could totally see how you could intertwine a message just through visual without it being preachy, like just through your art.
Yeah, and that's not in every case but for some work, I really want that to be the case. Something that isn't shoving anything down anyone's throat, but just kind of be matter of fact. And I really like the idea of juxtaposition, and I feel like that's kind of like a speed boost for whatever message I want to get across. Like Mario Kart, you're driving around and then you got that speed ramp. And I feel like with that contrast, it's really fascinating. Like I'm my own fan and my own worst critic. So when I see my work, I want it to be something that is unexpected. And I think one of my favorite music videos is one I did with Knowledge, Find My Way. And there's a lot to unpack there. I feel like I don't know. I feel like one day maybe someone's going to sit down and analyze my music videos and break it down and to a T, and then they're going to bring something to it that I didn't even expect.
I think that's every artist's fantasy. Like they want to see their own work dissected in a documentary on them on the future. They want people to like just like pine and prospect over what they've made.
I know. I mean, I'm not saying I want a movie on me or anything.
No, I'm not saying like you're looking at it in a selfish like I'm so great way, but you want to sit back and
how dope would it be when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood comes out, and then they're like, so Quentin, like, what's one of your inspirations? He's like, I just saw a music video by like this guy named Ace, like, just like that. That would like, I think it's like that type
inspiring
of
your inspirations. Yeah, we were talking about that, but like that's the whole reason why people have art shows, right? They're like, come out to my show, like, and there's a gallery with all their sculptures and stuff, and they're walking around, They're walking around, they have their martini, and they're just watching people looking at what they made. That's like the ultimate artist payoff right there, man. It's weird,
It's like getting to see everyone simultaneously getting to see everyone who's sitting down and watch my work at their laptop or with their phone, whether they're scrolling through or whatever. And I feel like that I would love to have like a show like that where I'm just showing my work.
Right.
That'd be sick, yeah.
Exhibit.
Bro, you could do that.
That would be fascinating. Like, I've done it for photography, but it was it wasn't that big. It was just kind of fun showing some of my prints after finishing school. It just kind of felt like good, like, oh, this is what I worked on. These are the photos that I physically printed in the darkroom.
Right.
And I feel like if I were to do it, I would definitely want to do something out of the box. I know that's, it sounds really cliche, but I'm really fascinated by video art and video art installations.
Oh yeah.
There's this one quote that goes, "The medium is the message," and it's by Marshall McLuhan.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a very college quote for people who
I know,
who went to
so
school for
edgy.
for visuals. I mean, I did the same thing, and that was something that was constantly said by every teacher. But it's true.
Yeah.
It's very true, at least for good art. And I've been to some video installation galleries. I remember one was very underwhelming. I think I was in New York, and it was a 2-hour video of the Empire State Building, I think, and it was black and white, and it was just a shot of that, and people were watching it, and I was like,
Remember,
this is one of those pretentious, like, the
That's
dot took 60 years to
boring.
make thing. Yeah, I was like, oh,
remember
goodness.
when Kanye West, when Yeezus came out, he had just a projector on top of a car going against random buildings in
Yeah,
cities.
yeah,
He had
which
one
is
in Philly.
interesting.
It's a video installation.
I could see for you, though, kind of like a silent rave video installation crossbreed where people are walking around with wireless headphones, and then you have your videos on the wall, and like
Wow.
people are listening to certain videos. You know
I'd
what I'm saying?
bang with that. I
That
like
would be
that.
hot. Something like that
No
would
way.
be tough, man.
That'd be really cool. I think something that alters the way that they consume it is really interesting. Cause I don't know. I don't want to bore people. Like that's boring. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to just slap something on the wall and then have them stare at it.
Like you're in class showing a movie or something.
Yeah, like I could do that with my peers maybe, but I don't know. Like
Have one of your videos on the wall, and then whatever happens there. Let's say if it was a guy and a girl fighting, then you just have, like in real life, a guy just laying on the ground the whole time with like fake blood coming out of him.
Yo, that would be.
Because I'd be like, yo, what is going on? This guy's like dead, and next you know, a video's playing, and I'm just like, oh, that's the guy from the.
That'd be wild. Yeah.
That'd be
or
crazy.
something inspired by talking about silent film, something inspired by Buster Keaton. He's phenomenal. When I was really getting into this, I was watching silent films like crazy.
Who is
And-
Buster Keaton? I'm sorry for people who don't know, and also
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Buster Keaton was an actor, and I guess a director, producer. He was, one of those guys. But he was one of the actors in the slapstick era of
okay.
silent films. So like 1920s, 1930s. I mean, this guy was like phenomenal. Like as far as stunts, think Jackie Chan, like his own stuntsman
Dude,
doing crazy things.
Right.
And like back then, it was like the Wild West when it came to film. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of things that protect Jackie Chan now, but back then, like that was intense. That was crazy.
Probably using like real explosives. Like they were killing animals on set.
Yeah.
Like that was at the end of every movie.
don't
Like we
know.
didn't harm any animals, but back in the day, they're throwing cats
Oh,
off
yeah.
of cliffs and stuff.
Jackie Chan's damn near 70 years old and still doing his own stunts.
He's the man,
I
bro.
know. I love him. I want to keep watching his movies.
Same.
Keep watching new movies. But back to Buster Keaton.
Yeah.
He was really well known for having. So think like Charlie Chaplin, kind of like that.
Okay.
But he was really well known for, first of all, like grand sets. Like they were really crazy. The style of his shooting, which is similar. I mean, it was common, like deadpan shooting, which think like Wes Anderson, that style.
I love Wes Anderson.
It's crazy. Like he's really cool. Like like I said, the attention to detail. But Buster Keaton, I don't know. I was really into his work when I was starting off.
Mm-hmm.
But what that train sailed. I had a point,
That's cool.
and then it just left. But
That's cool.
I really like his work.
We can circle back to that, but you said that was big for you when you were starting off. So like high school is when you decided, all right, I'm going to try this photography thing. How was the journey? Did anybody say like, yo, Ace, like don't do this photography thing, man. Like this is for the birds. Like did you face any resistance? Like
Not as much as I thought I did.
Yeah.
And then going into it, a lot of people did say like, it's a tough market, and
it's start off at weddings.
Yeah, like it's hard, or you got to do these kind of jobs, or asking me, oh, do you do this,
Right.
and I'm like, no.
He's like, no.
No, and I don't even know what the market meant back then.
Right.
I still don't know what it means, but I
That's cool, man.
I just like doing my own thing, and
Yeah.
if I can help people along the way, or if I can get help along the way, that's always welcomed. And like with any relationship or business relationships or friendships, really, it's kind of like I want to make sure that it's a mutual thing, and that it's natural, it's comfortable. I never really want to force anything, which comes back to like bad shoots.
Right.
Sometimes it just kind of felt like forced. We rushed into it, or it's a little bit unplanned. And yeah, I mean, with that being said, I love like improvisation. Like I really love coming up with stuff on the spot. I'm like, oh, that was great, and then I ended up storyboarding all this stuff, and it was really for nothing. But I can't really say that. I feel like storyboarding is a big part of my process.
Yeah.
If I'm storyboarding for a music video, I'm serious. I'm not playing
I'm
around.
going to pry a little bit. I saw you storyboarding the other day on your Instagram story, and at the corner of your shot in this Instagram story, there's an anime on your computer. What were you watching, bro?
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, was it an actual video playing, or was it a still?
Dog, it was a video, and it was killing me. I didn't want to DM you like all weird. I wanted to like ask you later, but I was like, what anime is he watching? There's no way you remember,
Remember what's happening in it?
Dude, it was like the shot of like a sky or water or something like that, and I'm like, it looks like it probably was Bebop actually. It might have been like the swordfish or something, but I was just like,
Huh.
nah, my bad, bro.
Was it like in a cafe or something?
Yeah, you were just like storyboard time, and I saw you had
Oh.
a notebook and you were storyboarding.
I think it was a music video or something.
Oh, was it?
Or like one of those lo-fi hip-hop videos.
That's cool.
Or something like
Love
that.
those.
Speaking of that, what'd you think of Flying Lotuses? Did you see that for
I haven't
Shinichiro
yet.
Watanabe? All right.
Well,
cool.
with David Fincher and David Firth? David Firth?
I don't think it's Anderson .Paak and Flying Lotus. This new one. Yeah, it's an animated one, but I think you'll like it a lot.
Huh, what is it called?
Do you know? You put me on the spot. I just Flying Lotus and Anderson
He turned the
.Paak.
cards on you.
I know he did. He was like, "Bro, you so knowledgeable."
He said, you got that laptop in front of you.
Yeah, that's it's more actually. Flying Lotus, Anderson .Paak, more.
I still haven't listened to
The album?
yet.
It's very
You
good.
know what album I'm stuck on right now?
What?
2. So I'm stuck on Skepta's album
Okay.
for all that UK grime things. And then the other one,
Kids music, man.
that's literally it. Skepta, and yeah. I thought my light was on. I don't know, just a playlist.
Yeah,
Just a random playlist.
that's not a genre that I'm into yet.
Grime?
Nah.
The
I
first
like
time I
that.
heard of it was before it was popping in the mainstream, or popping in the
Right.
mainstream. I
Right.
mean, I feel like if you like a genre, that's fine. But I heard it in a UK movie, and it was like about these boys in like juvenile prison, and they were just like fighting like crazy. And I loved it because it was shot so good. It just
Yeah.
very dynamic. Yeah, and then
This
I heard it there.
There's a show, I can't remember the name. It's on Netflix.
Hold up.
Top Boy. I think it's called Top Boy. Top Boy or Hot Boy. It's it's in London. It's it's about roadmen and stuff like that. Roadmen are type people in London. They don't really have much to do.
Drug gangs, East London.
Yeah.
Top Boy. Oh yeah. Okay.
Top Boy. Yeah, it's, dealing drugs, doing drugs, whatever. And that's where a lot of grime, kind of originated from. On the corner, kind of like, Meek Mill back in the day when he used to just be rapping on the corner with his friends.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how grime was originated. And then it transitioned into the club scene where they were taking a lot of, house tracks and flipping them. Whereas in America, we were taking like 70s tracks, like disco, and flipping
And flipping
that.
those and soul ones, yeah.
And soul ones
to
to
make
get,
beats, yeah.
back in the 90s New York,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And also the 80s, when b-boying was invented and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So that's what they were doing with the house. So then you have the house with like 808s. But now it's more like, because, it kind of got the cosign from Drake a little bit, which was like annoying. So now it's like, I don't know, grime's in such a weird spot now, because now it's like just American beats sounding with British accent to it.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I do like.
It's like so weird.
Yeah, I'm all for weird, but sometimes it's. I mean, I haven't listened to his new album, so I really can't say. But I like that idea of like flipping that kind of beat, and it kind of makes sense because they're in Europe, so they're sharing their culture with other Europeans in the area and stuff like that. And over here we have like our own bubble, just culturally, especially back then in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then now it's obviously merging, like you just said.
I was surprised when I asked you what music to put on while we were setting up that you said classic rock, man.
Classic rock.
Is that like your go-to, or is that just something you were feeling right now? Like I'm surprised just because I feel like your world is so much hip hop and trap and all the stuff that you do.
It's nice to get away.
Yeah, is that your reprieve? Is that what that's all about?
It's not necessarily my reprieve. It's what I really started enjoying when I was really getting like more conscious and getting into music. Just listening to classic rock, 90s alt rock, early 2000s alt rock or
Grunge
whatever.
Era.
Yeah, definitely grunge. And it's kind of being more open to rock music, hence the leather boots and the jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of what I enjoy. And I would love to starting to get into shooting like rock music videos and stuff like that. Something, I mean, I don't know. I feel like conflicted about rock. I haven't seen anything that I've been like, oh wow, like that's hot.
I have a lot of confliction.
Well, yeah.
just for me, because like I love rock.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite bands ever is a prog band, Coheed and Cambria. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
Coheed and Cambria.
Hold on, what's that
Progressive,
jam?
Welcome Home. Right. And I was at, grunge. I have such affiliation for Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
What Nirvana did in the 90s. Same with, Soundgarden. Even some of Weezer. They had a lot of influence in the 90s. Nine Inch Nails is one of my favorite alternative bands. I like geniuses. But it's just like, I don't understand how the sound just died.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I kind of.
Because it doesn't make sense because hip hop transcended. Like hip hop is younger than rock by
a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like we're talking Chuck Berry was playing rock in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then hip hop came in the 70s. So 40 years later, 30, 40 years later, whatever. And then it survived each time. Now that could be because, like, no disrespect, it could be easier to make a hip hop song compared to a rock song where it's a lot of instrumentations going to play. I don't know. But a lot of rock music now has such a hip hop influence.
Oh yeah.
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 It's like such a weird duality, and then rap has such a rock influence. So it's like they're merging, but like you don't hear rock bands anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
that's true.
hear anything like inherently rockiness, like, oh, that's a new sound.
Right.
Like it's just.
Because there was that emo wave,
Yeah.
and then after the emo wave, it just dead.
I'll tell you. I
don't know what happened.
I'll tell you why I think that is. First off, I think you're very correct with the fact that it's way easier in the eyes of consumers to make hip hop. It's people like, yo, dog, I just gotta go on Google and find a beat.
Which is also part of the problem because then you have a lot of clowns.
You have a lot of it's an oversaturated market.
Very.
But here's the thing that I think is the main pull, right? All these rappers emphasize an individual, which is very, very attractive to this millennial generation, which is the Instagram generation, the Facebook generation that's very individual obsessed. I think the generations before weren't necessarily like that, so a band was something you could sell. And think about BTS, right? They're a band. Why are they so popular? It's a bunch of attractive boys. Girls love them, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like
a lot of records.
Right. And it's
a lot of records.
But it's the same thing with like an attractive female singer that's in a band. Like people will go and be like, oh wow, like so it's more about idolizing this group of people, which I think is becoming played out nowadays. Like everyone wants to be like, that's a cool individual. I want to be like Kid Cudi. I want to be like this one person.
But the thing that's different is that, I don't even know, because like I understand to be inspired by and like, use your inspiration like in your work or whatever. But I'll use one example. So we'll say Fall Out Boy, right? I was never really the biggest fan of Fall Out Boy. They had some jams here and there through the past like 15 years. So when they came on the scene, it was very, rock oriented.
Yeah,
It's big.
definitely.
Now
This is the time where they were still making Now That's What I Call Music on CD.
exactly Kids
Yeah.
Bop 22, right? So
oh my god.
so now I heard a song of theirs recently, and I'm hearing 808s.
What was it?
Oh man,
The one with Lil Peep,
they have a song with Lil Peep.
What?
the Fall Out Boys.
I didn't know that.
That is a song.
It's
Lil
either
Peep.
Lil Peep
yeah.
was fire. He was fire.
Lil Peep was awesome.
So-
Rest in peace.
I want to talk a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about Lil Peep,
Please do, man.
but Fall Out Boys. I think, yeah, it's
What the heck?
either that or with their lead singer.
No, let me just check that out while you're talking.
phone was spazzing.
Yeah,
for a moment.
My phone.
No, mine.
All right.
So it was the Fall Out Boy lead singer, Patrick Stewart. No, wait.
No wait,
Patrick
is it Fall Out
Stewart.
Boys? I feel like
There-
it's one of those bands.
There is a song. Lil Peep and I Love McConan.
I love
Love
McConan.
McConan.
He's the
All
guy
right.
who did Club Going Up.
That's how you know I'm old.
On a
Featuring
Tuesday.
Fall Out Boy. So it
That's
exists.
a random mix.
Ace is
Yeah.
on point right now.
But
Is
the
it
thing
fire?
is that came after his death, and he was really big into Fall Out Boys for obvious reasons.
Mhm.
I feel like rock is just I haven't, and maybe I'm not digging, deep enough. So that might be my fault.
Yeah.
I just want to put that disclaimer out there.
You're not gonna offend anyone.
I mean, if I offend anyone, I hope they come to me with bands to look into, because I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially since I want to get more into that genre, and just bring something to it that's special and unique. But I feel like when it comes to hip hop's managed to infuse other elements, other
Right.
things, and it's kind of like transcended hip hop, but you could still call it hip hop. Maybe
Right.
rock's done that, but they haven't transcended the label. At the end of the day, like, really, what is rock? If you have guitar in a hip hop song, is that not rock enough? So people, artists like Lil Tracy or
Yeah, I know
Lil
what that
Peep,
is.
they have those elements, and I absolutely love it. Like, I love to
Yeah.
see the merging of the genres, and I saw this way before this was a thing. Definitely like while I was in high school, and I was really getting into more rock. I saw it with Aerosmith and Run DMC, Walk This Way.
Sweet.
I mean, that was a big collab back then, and just seeing kind
Broke
of
the
like,
wall.
yeah,
Broke the wall back. Literally 'cause
Literally
they broke
broke
the
the
wall in
wall.
the music video.
yeah.
But
But I find it fascinating, just seeing the genres kind of like blend.
Right.
And I mean, even Lil Uzi is like, I'm not a rapper, I'm a rock star,
Right.
and stuff like that.
and what's funny about that when he says that is because like he definitely embodies a rock star behavior, and how he carries himself. Live fast, die hard type of mentality.
Right.
But it's like it's still just so weird how, if you want to, you could hear a rap song, rap song.
Right.
If you want to, you could hear a rock infused hip hop song. But like to hear like a rock song and today, like a true rock song, it's like it's far in between.
Yeah.
Or near in between, whatever the expression
Yeah.
is.
You have to listen to like the local
'Cause,
college radio station.
I saw last summer, I think it was last summer, 2 summers ago, me and my girlfriend, we went to 30 Seconds to Mars concert. She's a big fan, right?
Yeah.
Big fan of the older stuff, because the new stuff is nowhere near the old stuff.
Yeah.
So their concert, when I tell you this, their concert, right, this rock band, they literally had a beat machine on stage.
Oh my God.
They hit play, because they didn't have the drummer, so they just
Whoa,
hit play.
no drummer.
No drummer.
Damn.
So
That's bad.
that hit play.
Wow.
Jared Leto is singing, and his
Yeah.
brother was playing guitar.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh.
And then right before them, do you know who Portugal the Man is?
I feel like I've heard this.
There's a band from if you might have heard their songs, they're pretty like popular now. They're from Seattle or somewhere over there. They didn't say a single word, right? They were playing, and they had this giant, what do you call it, projector behind them, just with this giant white tarp. First thing pops up, it says, "We are the best rock band you will ever see in your life. Enjoy the show," right?
Yikes.
And then they open the show up to
Yikes.
Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Mhm.
The Wall, right? Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
that's a classic.
So then as they're playing it, right, and everyone's singing, then they just cut it into their own song. And like they had like memes going. It was like, oh, you thought we were gonna cover a Pink Floyd song? It's like it was actually really funny. And dude, they literally played an hour straight of just going song after song after song.
Well, that's cool.
Like just ripping it. And
That's
I was
cool.
like, yo, this is insane. And their lead guitarist is in a wheelchair. And he was just like, dude, he did like a 10-minute guitar solo. And I was like mesmerized. I'm like, am I on acid? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm looking at the light show and I'm just like, dude, like, I'm like tripping out right now. It was like so weird but so dope at the same time.
Yeah. One of the coolest rock performances I've ever seen was actually earlier this year. There's a band, I'm not sure if you know about them. They're called Bit Brigade.
Bit Brigade?
Bit Brigade. So what they do is they have a guy on stage who sits in front of this TV, like this old TV from like 1989, and he has a Super Nintendo hooked up to it, and he plays.
He told me this.
Yeah, he plays Mega Man. And so the band just looks at the TV, and there's a huge screen projection behind them. They cut the music completely from the game.
And just do it themselves.
And they play the music to everything that's happening.
Right.
So, like, if he beats the boss, like, they'll cut mid-song and go to the boss jingle. Like, they'll be like, and they'll be like, like, they just cut right into whatever's going on the screen.
That's actually
It's
dope.
fun.
But they don't stop playing the whole time. And the guy beats the game. The concert doesn't end until the guy beats the game.
So how long is
and
the concert?
He's truly talented. Probably like 2 hours, hour and a half.
He
Like,
beats the whole game in 2 hours?
yeah, so he speed runs it. Like, it's pretty crazy.
he's
So
speedrunner.
you get to watch like him like just do all this crazy stuff. But those are the moments where you're like, all right, this music really does have like an effect on people, and you should see how excited people
Can
get.
you imagine if he got to a level that he just couldn't beat? If he just got like he fell out of his funk for a moment, he's just like, redoing it, and they're just playing it like,
Beat it up.
yeah,
Well,
it's like, come on, like we
it's
brought
like-
you out here for a reason.
It's like you parallel parking though. You've done it so many times. Sometimes it's difficult, but you've done it so many times it's muscle memory. Like when you watch this guy play the game, it's flawless, and that's what makes it an even better show. But
Right.
those are the moments where I'm like, all right, man, rock still has that power to like get people moving,
Right.
get people excited. But I just think it's ironic that that's a genre that you're into, because especially classic rock. Because correct me if I'm wrong, classic rock music videos are usually just the performance. Like if you look up a classic rock music video, it's usually just a footage of the concert. Like
The
that's
concert.
That's usually what it is. I don't know.
A lot of the older classic rocks, yeah. A lot of the newer stuff, and by that newer I mean like I guess late 70s, early 80s, especially in 80s with MTV and everything.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
They're pretty big, but the older stuff I guess like
Beatles.
yeah, nah,
Stuff like
Beatles had a whole movie, and they
Those are weird.
Yeah,
You ever watch those?
You and Ant
Yeah.
used to love that.
And speaking to those are weird,
I'm not
man.
into
Yeah.
Those are some weird movies.
they are pretty weird.
I respect the Beatles movement. That I tried so many times to get into that music. I can't.
Yeah, but it's weird. They re-released their music videos, and I guess they're new,
Right.
because they look different, obviously from the older stuff.
Remastered.
Yeah, some of it is using old footage from them in the studio and stuff like that, with a new twist, some abstract shots or whatever, a bunch of B-roll. A lot of it, some of it is just animated text.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and then other stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's weird to re-release music videos for an artist or for a band that isn't a thing anymore. But I mean, I guess to each their own.
Could you put together the top 3 of your favorite bands? Classic.
Um,
Zeppelin.
A lot of people, I don't know. A lot of people aren't into Aerosmith, and I can see why. But I got into them at such an interesting stage of my life. I got into them when I was drinking Code Red Mountain Dew and eating Doritos, playing video games.
For real.
Well, Steven
yeah.
Tyler can also belt like no one else.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
That-
he's
that
really
is crazy.
he's talented. He just makes you want to screech. I don't know.
That guy has an interesting look, man. But what
He has some of the best stories ever, man. If you ever
really?
watch
Oh,
his
yeah.
on Joe Rogan's podcast,
I'll have to watch
literally
that
just 2.5 hours of
Oh,
him just
God.
telling. It was like war stories. Like you're listening to a guy who just came back from the war,
Yeah.
and he's just telling like his life. And dude,
I
it
think
was amazing.
he was telling a story once, and I haven't watched that podcast, but I'm gonna definitely watch it now. But he was telling a story about how him and his bandmates were practicing after being on hiatus, and then they're just covering songs that are coming. They're just covering songs that I guess Keep Playing on the Radio or something like that. And then Steven Tyler turns to one of his bandmates and he's like, we should definitely cover this song. And then his bandmate's like, what are you talking about? Like, that's our song. Like, they were doing so much drugs back then.
Yeah,
That is crazy. Like, I don't want to hear anyone complaining about the drug. Like, obviously, we got to talk about it, but I don't want to hear anyone complaining about the drug culture and hip hop without and then act like rock is so innocent because
I mean, I don't want to sound ignorant here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like back then, like, they were doing psychedelics.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Pretty harmless compared to like people doing Xannies and like all the stuff that they're doing.
Steven Tyler was also doing a lot of heroin.
Yeah, there was
a lot of them were doing a lot of heroin.
Yeah, man,
like some hard shit.
Yeah,
dude. I don't know what to say about that because I want to be sensitive to everybody, but like. Yeah. Some people walk away from drugs and they're fine. That's like the really crazy thing about it is like not everyone walks away like devastated or dead.
Some of those rock stars were doing drugs for like 30, 40 plus years.
Yeah.
And now they're sober and they're just like flourishing.
And they're a judge on American Idol. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that's what. But
yeah,
like
that's true.
Let's be real about it. Like so that's
Mick Jagger too. He just had, I think he just had like a heart attack or something like that. But like he was, if you think partying. The Rolling Stones, like, the logo was literally just it's a mouth. Like, it's a sexualized mouth.
That's true.
Dude, they were the definition of, like, rock and roll.
Yeah. But see, I talk about this so many times. Like, that was the counterculture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now hip-hop
Imagine
is
Britain during the punk era. Because, Britain created punk.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Bro, you
talk about counterculture. You had people just, like... Let me just spike up my hair, just make it a different color, leather jackets.
That was so
high strap boots.
Where do they come up with that? Like, it seemed like they pulled it out of thin air.
Dude, same thing with house music. If you really think like how house music was like created, it was just noise.
Yeah,
and then they just figured out a way how to. Hey, take this drug, and then this is gonna sound crazy.
Right. Well, it becomes like this pulsating rhythm. But I always wondered about that too, like the punk apparel, like the leather, the boots, like all that stuff.
How did it start?
Yeah, and then
like, who thought of it?
And then Michael Jackson kind of like commandeered it, man. Like he kind of took that and just like made it his own, dude. Like it was pretty crazy.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
especially in the late 80s too.
Yeah, but I've always been fascinated with that too, man. Like that whole like.
I'm telling you, just like think about it, like. One day there was just a teen who was angry at his mom and dad.
Right.
And he was like, you know what?
I think they were angry at a lot back then.
Yeah.
And maybe rightfully so.
Right.
Yeah, and they used music as a way to vent that frustration.
Right.
And that's really interesting. I feel like that's really what's great about hip hop. Despite I guess the flaws of easy production, as in you making beats on your laptop. Right. On one hand, there's a lot of trash on SoundCloud.
There's a lot of trash.
Yeah, and just a lot of trash out there. And the same could be said about music videos. There's a lot of trash music videos out there. Right. But I think it really it's worth it because of what it offers to people, especially minorities who.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
When's the last time you heard of a like Hispanic or I guess like a Hispanic artist back then that was really popping? I mean,
all you had was at
Santana.
the time was like Santana, and then after Santana, Jennifer Lopez, and you had Mark Anthony.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Then you had the bachata wave coming.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of waves of that.
You had Prince Royce. So.
Oh my God, I keep seeing him in memes.
Prince Royce.
Yeah,
it's so but I think Daddy Yankee. Big shout out to Puerto Rico.
Yes.
He put Puerto Rico on the map because if you don't have Daddy Yankee, you don't have Bad Bunny today.
Or reggaeton in general.
If
we think about it. Reggaeton like the equivalent of reggaeton is like the equivalent of hip hop.
Right.
And this what hip hop was in the 70s and 80s, that's what reggaeton was in the 90s and early 2000s. Like
interesting.
And when I was in Puerto Rico, cuz I lived in Puerto Rico when I was like from 7 to 10.
Really?
But when I was in Puerto Rico, that's when I started to first see kind of like reggaeton on the TV being kind of like sponsored by Pepsi. There was a whole Daddy Yankee Pepsi commercial.
Right.
And it's just kind of phenomenal. I didn't think much about it back then. I was just like, oh, this beat is hot, and I'm looking at Pepsi and all of a sudden I want a cold drink.
Right.
Shout out capitalism.
Right.
So, but with that being said, I mean, even then, like, it just they're sponsoring this artist, and that kind of means a lot because he gets to shine, and he did back then, and he still does.
Right.
But now other artists get to kind of really, they have some shoulders to stand on, and even that has roots and everything else. I feel like that's the Spanish version of hip hop at the time. I mean, it sounds a little bit different, of course, but I guess a lot of what reggaeton is now is the old stuff mixed with new trap, English American trap.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the craziest things for me, I said this on the last couple episodes ago, is how like America, how the world is heavily influenced by the Caribbean when it comes to music for reggaeton and also dancehall, but it's not attributed to the Caribbean. So you have a lot of people will contribute dancehall, and also some of reggae to Toronto. And then when it comes to, a lot of these Puerto Rican artists, when you even have Luis Fonsi, people think that it's getting attributed to Spain or other. It's like it's such a weird duality. It's so weird.
You mean with Despacito?
Yeah, even like Despacito.
So,
a lot of people are like, "Oh, like this guy from Spain." It's like, nah.
So part of that, I feel
that
like
guy's lived in New York for like past 20-something years.
Yeah, you got a lot of New Yorkers popping, but I feel like part of that is because of the music video.
Right.
It's shot, I believe, in San Juan, and San Juan's that's like one of the first places where the Spanish landed.
Right.
So a lot of their architecture looks like Spanish, So I feel like that might be part of it. But still, you have a good point.
It's just like I think about it every now and then because I was talking to a previous guest on here about it, and then like for me, like Bad Bunny kind of just like he blew up. Yeah. I couldn't even tell you where he like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm just like, oh, Bad Bunny. I was like, who's? And then he's coming on. I think Ozuna. I don't know where Ozuna's from, but Nicky Jam. Like I knew Nicky Jam, but a lot of reggaeton just got widely accepted, even though it's like Daddy Yankee was doing this 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was just like weird. I'm like, what?
With Daddy Yankee. I feel like it was not a one-hit wonder, but it was like, oh,
niche,
that's like a niche genre.
Right.
And then I feel like now it's kind of like, oh, it'll be playing.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah,
it's here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember reggaeton. I mean, I grew up around a Hispanic community and a Black and Hispanic community. So of course, like I'm hearing it, but not hearing it in the mainstream. I
was in Germany 2 years ago. I was there for a couple weeks, and the craziest thing when I was there, J Balvin was performing.
No way.
When I was out there, and I'm just like, that's how I knew that like
that's amazing.
it broke the wall.
Actually, I guess it's related to that, but I was in Vietnam earlier in the year.
Wow.
And I know it's so random. Like,
dude, what were you doing there before you tell your story? if you don't mind me asking.
No, it's
bro.
cool. I was kind of there on vacation.
Okay.
I was there on vacation. For about a month. So my girlfriend's family, they're from Vietnam.
Nice.
And then my uncle's wife is from Vietnam as well.
Nice.
And it was really good. I don't ever want to go somewhere that I don't know people, and so they just treated me like family.
I feel that, bro.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want to be a tourist.
I'm the same. When I was in Germany for 2.5 weeks it was just my girlfriend and I, and like I know some of the language. I know a decent amount. My dad's family, they're from Berlin and stuff, but I was never raised learning German. I had to teach myself. So I always tell, like, whenever I go somewhere, like, out of the country, I like to blend in. I don't really like to be a tourist, so I'm just like, oh, like, whatever. Unless I do, but it's like, I don't know, because it's like, different. Like, if you try to accept a different culture, they'll accept you.
Yeah.
And, like, that's, like, one of the coolest things about, like, traveling the world.
Yeah.
And, like, I wish sometimes... because this is very small sampling, but like for America, like when people come here, I wish that we were as embracing and accepting. I mean, historically, I guess we are. Technically, we are.
Technically.
Technically, we are, but like, it's not. at
Well,
the
it's
same
like
time.
the attitude, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it really depends who it is and
Right.
where they're going in the country.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, Vietnam.
Yeah, I don't want to get your
Yeah.
original point misconstrued.
Yeah, I
so
go on-
what-
I go on
what was
tangents
going on?
sometimes.
No, that was
No, that was good.
it's a good point.
Vietnam, it was, first of all, it was great. I loved it. Driving motorbikes for the first time everywhere, like
Really?
for hours.
It was like a moped or
yeah, like a moped.
That's
Okay.
sick. That's really sick.
But we were driving around, and in Vietnam, like, you know, they obviously have their own music, and it's
Right.
a lot of it is pop ballads and then more traditional stuff. But I didn't hear that much American music unless I was like in a mall or something.
Yeah.
And even then, that would probably be rare.
Right.
A lot of K-pop.
I was about to say it's a lot of K-pop out there, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of K-pop and a lot of their own pop music. But for whatever reason, we were driving and we were driving through Saigon, and we were heading south, and I heard an old Don Omar music song.
Really?
It was like Salió or so.
Right, yeah.
And
I know
I
the
was
song.
like, what? Like, out of all the places that this song is playing,
Right.
like, I
At
hear
least
this.
it wasn't
in
Danza
Vietnam,
Kuduro.
right?
Yeah, at least it wasn't that. I was like, oh my god. It was the old reggaeton too.
Right.
Wow. I was like, wow,
It
that's
caught you
that's
off guard,
incredible. Yeah.
He
hearing
probably almost
Puerto
did like
Rican
a
music.
backflip. He was just like forgot where he was for a second.
For sure,
Oh,
man. That's interesting. Yeah.
So what else you do out there during time?
I'm just driving around, you know, tasting food from the culture. I'm a really picky eater.
Really?
But I really got into that mainly because you really don't have
Right.
anything else to eat.
Right.
But that kind of forced me to be open to trying new foods, especially the fruits. Like,
Right.
it's phenomenal.
No, I'm surprised someone like you doesn't video blog your travels. I mean, you have your own equipment, right? Like, what's
Yeah,
you
I
just want to
recorded
disconnect or
a little bit of that, but not too much of that.
Mhm.
I did record like along the way, but it was just a lot of B-roll stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing strictly of me except for maybe a video selfie or whatever.
Right.
I didn't want to do a vlog originally, and I did a poll on my story, and a lot of people were like, "Yeah, do it." And like food reviews and stuff like that. But
I don't know why. Imagine you do a food review. It would probably be the coolest thing ever. You're just so calm. Be like,
Oh,
"What's up,
man.
everybody? I got this soup here."
How scared of you were you? How scared of the food were you?
Not terribly scared because I've tried a lot of it before with
Nice.
my girlfriend,
okay.
like around Philly. Like,
Bro,
I'm
he's had the
getting-
pho before,
yeah,
man.
pho.
Bro, I'm so inexperienced when it comes to Vietnamese food.
Pho, bro.
I've had pho.
That's
but
Alright,
that's the
yeah.
one.
I've had pho, but that's like
Pho hits,
pho-
man.
but
It
the thing
hits.
about pho, it's like it's becoming Americanized now.
That's true.
Yeah,
There's a
feel
lot of
that.
spots you can get pho.
There-
Like
there's-
I want some that authentic. Like,
yeah, you gotta go
I
to
need
the right
to go
place.
to the right place.
I could recommend. recommend
send
something.
me these recommendations. I'm trying to go
Oh,
there and be
word.
like, listen,
Same.
Yeah,
we might have a disconnect right now with this food, but I will just point to what I want.
yeah. I guess the key with that is if you're going somewhere, make sure that restaurant only serves that one thing,
Right.
and you know you're in good company.
Right.
Even in Vietnam, like I think I really loved the food. Like food was phenomenal. There's a lot of crossover between Vietnamese food and like Hispanic cuisine. I guess mainly one treat that was really common. Well, besides coconut flavored things, one treat that was really common is burnt rice.
Right.
So in Spanish we call it pegadito, and it basically means burnt rice that gets stuck to the bottom of the pan. And it's the same thing in Vietnam. Like they'll have like a big sauteing pan over a fire, and then they'll mold rice to it, and then it's like it becomes nice and
Yeah, they'll
crunchy.
have the bok, right?
Oh,
Just,
man.
that big
It's
thing.
so good.
Dang,
No, the
bro.
wok. That's what's called the wok.
Yeah, the wok. That's what.
The
Yeah, they
wok.
put it over the wok.
Right.
It's phenomenal. The food was really good. Getting to drive around like crazy is
Right.
just it's really phenomenal.
It's free,
I,
right?
I was just
Get on that
thinking
bike.
this. I think there's like a lot of similarities in like you said Vietnam and back home for you is because I'm pretty sure this might have been the Philippines. I might have the Philippines or Vietnam mixed up, but I think the Spanish colonized like a couple countries right there.
So they did, but they only colonized the Philippines.
Okay, it was
and,
the Philippines.
I think another country, but I'm not sure.
It's like a small one. It's like really small. One, I
Yeah.
think.
But the French colonized Vietnam,
Okay.
and then I know Japan got involved somehow with that whole area.
Yeah.
I'm not sure the timeline on that, but I know it was the
You're the one
French
who knows that.
and then the Americans
Right.
after that.
Yeah, all the Asians hate the Japanese because the Japanese.
Because Japanese colonized everywhere, didn't they?
Well, World War II, they were victimizing the Korean and the Chinese. I can only assume probably the Vietnamese as well. That's
Right.
why the beef still stands today, just because like they were the Axis and they were crushing them. But I'm not
Right.
sure what happened before then.
Right.
But that's just really interesting that you were out there, especially for a month. Like, was this in the summer? I'm guessing, right?
No, it was in February.
Oh wow, okay, for like your winter break.
I know it was really.
Nice.
But
let's go.
it was towards the
dreading
big.
that flight home.
Oh, I know.
13, 14 hours. Something
It
like that.
was 5 hours from Vietnam to Korea, and we got laid over, so we had to come back to Vietnam.
You're in economy?
Huh?
Economy class?
No, we got laid over. So
I'm talking about like how are you flying?
So that's like normal. That's normal, right? That's normal.
I can't afford to fly.
No, I'm not saying you should put your money, but I'm saying like it's
This guy
rough.
flies
No.
business
But see, that's I'm going on a business trip with somebody else. That's
No, you're
nothing to
right.
do with me.
You're right. You're
it
right.
It makes it easier that way, bro. If it was, I could not afford that.
Yeah.
Trust me,
And
bro.
listen, I can't afford that at
Bro,
all.
when I went the 2 times I went to Germany and Portugal, well, the first time I tore my ACL, so I had to have my legs straight.
Jeez.
And I'm 6'2.5", so I'm sitting in economy. I'm just like dreading. I'm like, oh my god. But they hooked me up and we got our own 2 seats. But
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, like honestly, I'd rather be cheap on the flight and
Oh yeah,
bite the bullet
right,
and have a little bit more money for
to spend
No.
while you're there.
dude. Yeah, 100%.
the economy class. Like wow, like that was phenomenal.
Okay, cool.
It was 5 hours from Vietnam to Korea, and then 14 hours from Korea to New York. And for whatever reason, the 14-hour flight felt great, but the 5-hour flight felt bad.
Yep.
Was the 5
I can
was the
relate to that.
5-hour flight on like a smaller plane?
Yep.
Oh
that's
my
what
god,
happens, bro.
that
That's
is
what
the
happens.
worst. You're just sitting like this. There's no entertainment, and you're just
No.
grinding.
It's bad, but not only that, but it's like, 5 hours, and then you're like, time is really subjective when you're in the air. And I remember on our way there, the 14 hours, I was like, all right, I'm gonna sleep through a lot of this.
Right.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. But on the 5-hour flight, I'm like, okay, I don't got space to do anything.
Restless.
And then I'm counting the hour down. I'm like, first it's 5 hours, then it's 4 hours.
Yeah, that's 3.
Hours, and then it's
Mhm.
And you're like, do I really want to even like pull out my books? Like,
Bro.
because by the time I do that, I'm gonna get distracted. The lady comes by and she's asking if I want water, and I'm like, nah. I told you I'm good. Now I gotta go take a pee. I come back to my
Right.
book, and we've landed already. So
Fam-
now I gotta put my book
Fam,
back in the book
when
bag.
when I was flying out to Portugal, when we were going out there before we took the trip to Germany, I think I watched every movie on that flight.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I'm like, how much more? We still had like 3 hours to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
that's so much.
oh my god.
How long was the flight? So
Okay, so flew out of JFK. Okay. So I flew out of JFK to Lisboa in Portugal. That took 7.5, and then I had a 32 some hour layover. It was a long layover. So we had to get a hotel in the city. We got to experience the city, but
that's good.
it's cool. But at the same time, it's like I want more time here.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I was like not even like a visitor. I felt like I was like looking at a window
Yeah.
while I was there. I didn't get to experience that much. I got to experience some, but not that much. And then we had a 3.5 hour to Munich in Germany, and then I did an hour to Berlin, and then back home. Had to go back to Munich, then flew straight from Munich to JFK. Was 9.
Oh.
9. It was about 9. And then the second time I went last year, for some reason it was 6 there, 6 back. It was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was that much different, but that 9 hours back, I couldn't sleep. I was up the whole time. That was the first time I watched Batman vs Superman, and then that was the first time I watched the Justice League right after that. And then I watched something else, and I'm like, dude, I just watched 2.5 hour long movies, 2 of them,
Yeah.
and I still got about 5 hours.
Yeah. That's when it really hits you.
So
man.
that's when you just get drunk on a plane, and hopefully
Yep.
you just KO.
I'm not a drinking person, but that certainly helps, man.
Yeah, it
that certainly
just-
helps.
As soon as you get on a plane, just KO. Just tape a couple.
I took like melatonin to.
Ooh, he
Ooh,
he took
know.
the night energy.
I can't be sleeping and then be half awake and
Oh no.
That's it.
You got to knock out, bro.
I remember why it took 9 hours. On the way back, we flew from Norway.
Mm.
That's why it took so long.
That distance.
That sucked.
My strategy is always this, man. So I've been to Japan 3 times. I'm about to go.
You're leaving next month, right?
Yeah, I'm about to go number 4, July. My father is very involved with business over there. He works for Subaru, car company. So I've always grown up like kind of idolizing Japan, because when I was younger, he'd always give me like gifts and stuff from Japan. So first time I went was 2012, then 2016, then 2017 or 18 was my last trip. And so I'm going again, but this time I'm going by myself. But the flight is a lot easier when you're in business class. I don't pay for it, but like that's my dad gets like business to comp me when I go with him. And it's crazy because your seat is just a bed pretty much. You can fully recline it. They can go all the way back.
Right.
And then it's crazy. No, when I think about it, I'm like, dang, son, like money is evil, bro. Like just because I got more money, like I can lay down. It's just like you don't have enough money, you can't lay down.
You want to know why money's evil? Because as soon as you step foot on the plane, guess where you got to walk through?
You gotta walk past.
You got to walk past them.
Yeah, you got to walk past them. Well, they do that. They do that on purpose so that you regret it. But like it's always been easy for me because every single flight I go on, bro, I stay up the whole night before. If it was an option, I'd be out somewhere, bro. Sometimes. And then by the time you get to the airport, you're dead. You get on the plane and you sleep like you were going to sleep last night. I do that for Japan every single time. This year, I'm paying for myself, not going with Pops, going with my roomies.
You paying business?
Economy boy. Dog, I can't. I told you, I can't afford that. So I'm about to see
what
it's
going
to be my first international trip economy, man. So like, I'm ready for it.
I can't wait to be here. First episode back. First thing. He's going to be, welcome to Andrew. How's economy?
Son,
as soon as he does the intro, how's economy?
I'm the type of dude, though, that I could sleep. Japan is 15 hours. I'm the type of dude that I could sleep half. I could sleep half of that easy.
See, you know what the problem is? So I would do the same thing you do. Stay up all night, right? Go to the airport. That would work for me if everything's going smooth.
Yeah.
So if everything, you know what I mean?
I feel that.
Because guess what? If I get to the airport, I'm timing in my head. I'm like, all right, I got about an hour wait, and then I'm going to get on the plane, and then it'll take off in about 30 minutes. Snoozing. Hour wait turns to an hour and 30. I'm messed up. My clock's messed up. Abort me. I'm calling an audible. I'm like, okay, it's ruined. I'm like, no, the trip's ruined. The trip's ruined. Like, because then I'm trying to sleep on the plane. I was already planning to sleep 30 minutes ago. Now I'm getting anxiety because I can't sleep.
That's crazy.
So now I'm watching movies.
It was like that. My uncle, I went with my uncle.
Yeah.
And his mom. And it was great. He was really good. But he gave me a lot of good advice. Just like, look, he said the same thing. Don't sleep the night before.
Stay up.
And stay up.
Stay up.
I mean, I only slept like 3 hours the night before. I was really nervous.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh, this feels like the first day of school or something.
This wasn't your first time flying international, was it?
International, yeah.
Ooh,
okay.
Wow.
Count Puerto Rico international. Fair enough. Definitely not. Especially the planes. They're terrible on the way there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a story for another day. But I got
probably flying Frontier, huh?
Huh?
Frontier.
What?
When you go to Puerto Rico.
I think it's Delta.
Okay, I hate Delta.
I know, so that's why. But I took Asiana airline, I believe.
Okay.
And it was really good. But like I said, I had the same experience. I was like, all right, I'm gonna sleep the night before,
right,
and then we're gonna take a shuttle bus to New York.
Yep.
Okay. I'm knocked out on the shuttle bus. I get to the airport. I'm like hot and sweaty, and I'm like weird. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Right. Right.
I was.
Oh, you know what else I was geeking out about? So what time? I think it was the second time. We're coming back.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know why, but we booked. So leaving Germany, we booked a flight for 10 a.m. Couldn't tell you why we did this. 10 a.m. Right. We didn't get home till about 7 a.m. Maybe 6 a.m. because the clubs out there in Europe, they run a little different. They don't open until like 10 p.m., 11.
Jeez.
They don't close till 12 p.m.
Like in the afternoon?
Yes.
Wow.
Like they're
committed.
It's different world out there. Like it literally was a different world. So we were like, yo, we got a flight to catch. So I didn't get the shower. So now I'm getting agitated. So I'm like, I had to take a deodorant shower. And I'm like, fam. And then when I'm next to people and and I even picked to be on the end seat. Somehow I got the middle. So I'm sitting next to people who are like my height, my size. We got no elbows. I'm like, dude, I'm about to like just sit on the floor.
Yeah.
Like it was that bad.
Fly me on the undercarriage, please.
Right.
That's, it's like the smallest thing during travel will really sap your energy.
It was ruining.
Dude.
Like I said, that 30 minutes wasted where I couldn't I was off.
Can't relate, man. I'm team bougie boys.
Yeah.
I remember the second time I went to Japan. You know how like when you fly United, they have like that United VIP club.
No, I didn't.
All right, so, dude. Like, my dad got me into the United VIP club, and I know this sounds like so, but I'm just gonna go with it, right? So I was at because I'm seeing how my dad lives. I don't live like this. This is my pop's life.
This ain't you. This your
Bro,
pops.
nah, yeah. I hope one day my life is like this, bro. I remember at the Haneda airport, there's like a United VIP club, and you walk in,
Right.
and there's couches for everyone, but like, so just imagine like a row of couches and
Right.
like fountains and like very serene music, and there's 6 personal showers. So like, if you want to just shower in there and change, like you can totally do that.
Right.
And I was just like, cool. So I just showered at the airport. They have a little robe for you to put on. Put the robe on.
Is that the
I was
airport?
Like, oh yeah, at the airport.
Is that the airport?
Did you get your pedicure?
Right. Exactly. Right. Like I could have got a whole bunch of stuff, man. It was crazy. My dad was like, yeah, you could take this time to shower. Like I'm just be reading.
He
I was
said
like,
in business class, like, oh, it smells like pour in here.
that's what I'm saying, bro.
Hold up, let me get my AirPods.
But it was
Right.
it was too rich for my blood, man. Like I'm not even kidding, bro.
I feel you with
They
that.
came around, they were like, yo, like what kind of caviar would you like? I'm like, caviar.
Caviar.
Right.
What?
Are we ordering something for caviar?
Right.
No, I'm just
Right.
playing, man. I've had a bunch of bad flying experiences, man. I told the liquid story on this podcast before. That was bad. There was a mystery liquid one time
Oh god.
that was leaking out of the
This
overhead
story's
compartment.
So fun.
I'm just abbreviating it because people have heard this one already. But like,
You gotta tell from the start, please.
all right, here it goes. I'll tell the story again. So pretty much, my dad is a huge germaphobe. One time we were flying back from, I forget, maybe California. It was just me and him, and it was actually spring break 2011. I went to go visit my dad in LA. He was on a business trip, and so he's a huge germaphobe. And I remember we're boarding the plane, and there's a guy in front of us with like a paper bag. I've never seen somebody bring a paper bag onto an airplane before, and it's big, like it's this big bulky like paper bag. And so he puts it in the overhead compartment.
Oh boy.
And the lady is like trying to help him because it's too big to fit into the overhead compartment. So I'm like, dog, what's in the bag?
The problem.
Right.
And help.
I'm on the aisle seat, which my pops is a big guy. He usually likes to get on the aisle seat, but I took it. I was like, Dad, do you mind? He's like, nah, it's cool. I'm gonna be sleeping this whole flight. So I was like, all right, whatever. So the plane takes off, and as soon as the plane takes off, it hits that 45 degree, right? So out of the overhead compartment where the dude put the paper bag, this brown drip starts to go, just like it's dripping out. But now that's at a 45 degree, it's coming down like to the back of the plane. So Bull in the paper bag is 3 seats ahead of us, and now the brown drip is coming this way, like towards us.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care, man. And then so like my dad is like looking at his phone or whatever. And then he looks up and he sees the brown drip, and he's like, "What is that?" But he can't move because he's seatbelted in, and like I'm next to him. He's like, oh, bro, and he's like trying to like move and dodge, like he's literally like stuck in his seat, and he's like trying to get around the brown drip. And bro, I swear, like as the drip, like, because it came past him like this, it dropped on his shirt. I'm not sure if you ever seen like Seinfeld, like how like Newman reacts. So he's like, ah, like dude, that's how my dad was, bro. He was like, ah. Like he was spazzing. Like everybody's just like reading and chilling, and here my dad is spazzing because this one little drop got on him. Bro, I was crying, laughing. I thought my dad wanted to fight this man. But
I would have been like, yo, you got to run this fade.
Well, bro, I've had horrific experiences. I've had experiences where you sit down, the person next to you is trying to talk to you, and like, you want to be like, man, I love you so much. Like, but bro, I need to. I
had this guy talk to me
Yeah.
on the way to Germany for 3 hours.
Yeah,
Just talking.
yeah.
And I was like, fam, like you're ruining my sleep
I
time.
know, man. And you can't say that either,
No, you can't.
because then they're gonna have this.
Where do you can't go nowhere.
Where do you go?
Yeah,
Exactly. Where do you go?
You gotta
don't go
just
nowhere,
gotta eat
man.
it. Like if they decide to talk to you, you gotta be like,
Then somebody farts in the plane, or you got the baby crying the whole time.
Or
That's a
snort-
classic.
Nah,
Classic.
What's worse?
Baby farting and crying.
What's
it's a
worse?
wrap.
What's worse? A baby on the plane,
What up?
or someone with sleep apnea and the snoring?
I see. I can't hear the low, but I can hear.
No,
I can hear that.
No, I'm saying when someone's snoring, they're like,
Oh, if they're next to me, then yeah, it's a problem. But if it's like a few rows down, I'm cool, man.
I like when a flight attendant comes up to you, be like, "Would you like to change your seat?" And you're like,
Yeah, business class, please.
Right, yo, upgrade me,
"Bro,
upgrade me, man."
I'll stay in there.
they put me in the handicap seat, man.
Nah,
I was happy.
I need to fracture my leg before I go on a flight.
that's what people do for Disney World, man. People go to Disney World and they fake
Right.
an injury so they can get a nice little wheelchair.
So what?
And then you and your homies get to the front of the line.
So
man.
short story about it. I was playing in the soccer league down in Philly. It was the Casa League, and I tore my ACL a couple days before my flight.
What's a UCL?
No, ACL.
What's an ACL?
It's a ligament in your knee that literally, if it's gone or even slightly blown,
Ace has never known pain, bro.
yeah, that's 7 months recovery.
I'm playing,
There's
bro.
6 to 7 months recovery right there.
Brutal.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, my girlfriend, she was like looking at me. I said, no, we're still going. Like, we're still going. I don't care. I'll take crutches with me.
Nice.
So I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna show you this picture of me at Bayern Munich Stadium. So me and her, we planned to fly because we were trying to get the cheapest. Like you said, we were just trying to save money. Excuse me, save money on the flight.
You flying with the spirits?
No.
All right.
No.
Okay.
On the way there, we flew TAP Portugal,
All right.
and then so they see me pull up on my crutches. They're like, I see that both of you are not seated near each other. I can actually put you guys in a handicap section together free of charge.
Let's
And
go.
I'm like, yeah. I was like, do that. They did it for all of our flights.
Let's go.
Dude, I was
People internationally are really sweet.
right.
Yeah.
They're really sweet.
I love hearing stories about like random acts of kindness like that, bro. Yeah. I was reading the other day this like
That's my knee. So it's my left one on it. You can see how skinny that one is, and this one's just fat. That's a big difference. I was fucked up.
dude was in pain.
I was fucked up.
On the meds.
See, the problem with that was I started to, and then I was like, I do not want to get attached to these at all.
Yeah,
Got rid of
I
them.
wouldn't either.
I was like, got rid of them.
I'm serious. But yeah, you were gonna.
See, I mean that's hard. Every situation is different, man.
Yeah, man,
but
that
like,
shit sucks.
what I was saying was, yeah, dude, I read this crazy story the other day. First off, I check Post Secret all the time. I'm not sure if anybody knows. Shout out to Post Secret.
Post Secret?
Yeah, so it's a blog where this dude has a mailbox set up where people email postcards with like a secret on there, and it's pretty sick. So like, they just share like moments from their life or stuff that they weren't gonna tell anybody. And every Sunday there's new secrets. And this lady said that she was gonna kill herself. She works at a candy store, and some old lady came in and was like, yo, like the woman that was gonna kill herself, she's the clerk at this candy store, and she was like, hey, like what would you like, you know, what can I get you? And the old lady's like, what would you get? And like, I don't know, like what would you buy? And she was like, I'd get this chocolate bar. And the old lady bought it and gave it to her. I
Nice.
was like, here you go.
I like-
Yo,
I like-
yo.
I
Yeah,
like-
right.
I
That
like
story was
content.
awesome. She was
I like
just,
content
She was
like
just
that.
like, she's like, here you go. I feel like you could use this. And she
Yeah.
just left. And the lady was like, I was straight up about to kill myself after work. Like, I can't believe that just happened. Like that.
Insane.
Yeah, it was like a
Damn.
sign for her to keep going, man. I love.
Yeah, man.
I reading
love
about
content like that.
Yeah, man. It's like
I
wholesome.
love
stuff
positive.
like that.
I
Yeah.
love positive stuff like that.
Same, man. I think the internet needs more of that. Like, there's the whole wholesome meme
Yeah, listen,
thing.
internet is a wild place. Like I love a
sure.
good meme, but like I like a good
Yeah, man. Sometimes
like,
you
wholesome
just,
content.
Yeah, sometimes you need to bring it back down.
I'll never scroll past animal pictures.
Right.
Anything. Never. I'm going to all of
For
them.
me, you gotta share it with everyone.
Share with everyone, share with me.
Speaking of, I just want to hop back on visuals real quick. We'll wrap up in a second because it's gonna be kind of late. I was watching some of your, again, like your stuff is awesome. I was watching some of your music
man.
videos
Really
on
dope.
your Instagram,
Really dope.
and you do lyric videos, which are pretty popular. And I just want to talk to you about fonts, man. Like, I recognize some of the fonts, bro. Like, there's one where like the lyric was like, you can't mess with a G like me or something like that.
Tell you like G told.
Yeah. I was
Talk about that too. Go ahead.
No, that's cool. I was watching that one and I was just like, this G is like it's almost like the Odd Future like Wolfgang like G. Like, I don't know. Like, there's like a lot of like fonts that I'm picking out that I could see being like kind of staples in music. Like, what is your opinion on fonts? Like, what are your go-tos? You know what I'm saying?
I love fonts.
Yeah, I could tell. That's why I wanted to ask you about that.
I really like graphic design.
Yeah.
That's really big for me. Fonts. There's a lot of fonts that I do like, and then sometimes I'm in a certain mood for certain fonts. So you'll see that video after video, and then it might change. Obviously, Helvetica. That's probably my favorite font, but you gotta pay for it. So
Oh,
use that
shit.
recently.
I didn't know that.
This guy.
You gotta resort to alternative fonts.
Right.
That sounds so broke.
No, trust me. We know the struggle. We know the grind.
Yeah, man. I know. I totally
we're
get
there
that,
with
bro.
you. Well, he doesn't. He's business class. But
Nah, man,
I'm
that's
with
not
you.
even what this is
I'm with
about,
you. I'm
bro.
with you.
I don't live off daddy's money, man. I'm a grown man. But
Nah,
back when I was a
nah,
kid,
just-
it
we
was
get you.
fun, bro. It was fun. It was fun, bro.
I really like fonts that complement the style of the song and that complement the beat. Something that makes sense, something that fits the style of the video. I think it's underrated. I feel like when it comes to music videos and music video directors, they're focusing on visuals, and as they should, but there's so much that gets swept under the rug, and I feel like every detail is important, and fonts are definitely one of them. Recently I did Elevate with MC Knowledge, and the font, the way I wanted it to look like is like the old film text popping up. It looks like it's burning through the film and backlit. I don't think I did that exactly, but it had this glow to it, and I really like to mess around. So that's kind of what it looks like for the verses and for the chorus. But there's one part in the chorus where it's a wide shot, so there's a lot of blank space. It's knowledge, and then there's a lot of space. And what I did was I had the sentence pop up in front of him, almost like it's coming out of him, and it's tracked so that it's moving to his movement, so he's rapping and like just gesticulating, and then this text keeps popping up, and then when he goes to his second line, the second line pops up, but then the first line turns into the second sentence. It's just, and that was by accident. That was kind of like, I have a lot of serendipitous moments where I'm shooting and I'm like, oh no, this is not working out, and then when I'm editing it, I'm like, this is great.
Perfect. Yeah.
And on top of not working out and having a bad experience, we were out there at an abandoned location, and it was like mid-winter. It was before my trip. It was like mid-January, something like that. And I kid you not, I couldn't even pick up my gimbal. Like, my hands were like a robot.
Bro, even with gloves on?
No, I didn't have gloves.
Dang.
Forgot.
Yo, you're a savage, bro.
I had a hoodie on. Like, that's it.
Damn.
Out there.
I'm cold. I'm cold just hearing this right now.
We had so much planned. Like, we were like, yo, Knowledge, you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to kidnap yourself. You're gonna have to shoot yourself, and then in the scene, like, we're gonna green screen it or something.
Right.
I didn't even have a proper green screen at the time.
Right.
But we shot that one performance scene. Well, we shot it 3 times, but it's one scene for me.
Right.
But we were like, all right, we gotta get out of here. So we ran to my car, and we were just in there with my like heater on,
Just thawing out.
packed in there.
Oh, I want a blanket right now.
Dude, just like, oh, and then I'm like, guys, I have Capri Sun. You guys want some?
Nice.
Just out of nowhere.
Capri Sun's like a block, meanwhile. It's just a solid Capri Sun.
It's just like, guys, I promise it's really good when it's like that. And then after that, we had shot the trunk scene, which is inspired by Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs, like a
Nice.
trunk scene. And if you've seen it on my Instagram, it's where Knowledge's face looks like it's kind of melting off.
Okay.
And I love stuff like that. And yeah.
That's really cool. And what was that what you were trying to tell me? No. Specifically about the font music video. You were like, oh, I need to say something about that.
Oh, the font music video. So that font music video, I did as a kind of like favor, not a favor actually. I did it because I kind of felt like it. I heard Knowledge's song, and I was like, wow, this song is so good. Like, it's called I'm Gonna Tell You Like a G Told Me.
Yeah.
It's just the initials, so it's not even, the title isn't one word. It's like the initials to that sentence.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know why. There's some songs that really spikes like this creativity in me, and like some songs I gotta sit with, I gotta
Right.
day or two to learn, get comfortable with, think of things. With that song, I was like, it clicked.
Got it.
And a couple Knowledge's song and Eli's song. I mean, they are my friend, and everyone loves to support their friends. But some of their songs are like, wow, like this is like it's really good.
Nice.
I feel like it has that sense of virality, like it could go viral. Right. I mean, it's really like the sky's the limit with it, even if it's something that's in the long term. But I did that just out of fun, not only like to practice text animation, to practice with vertical video for Instagram.
Nice.
Because the medium is a message, so how you decide to portray that message is important. But also as a precursor to some visuals we might be having coming out.
Sweet.
Nice. At the end of June following.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, is all that on After Effects?
That, I think it was not on After Effects, if I'm not mistaken. It was on Premiere. It could be done easier on After Effects. A lot of things can. But I was like, I don't know. I just, to get that motion, you keyframe it, and then I nest it, so basically I group it, and then I copy and paste that keyframe, and just kind of add layers to it. And a lot of it just gets discovered by accident. I mean, I really just messed around and...
That's cool, because it looked really good. Like, it looked very intentional to me. I was like, this is excellent work.
Yeah.
I mean, as most of your stuff is. We're getting down to, like, the last 10 minutes, so... Sheldon, feel free to say whatever you want, but I just want to ask you, man, like... you've been on this creative journey. You started in high school, got interested in photography. Now you graduated and you're doing your own thing, and you got a pretty tight team from what I hear. What is the ultimate goal? Like, are you looking to work for a corporation? Are you looking to work for a specific artist? Like, where are you trying to go? Are you trying to be an LLC? Do you not know yet? I'm just curious.
I guess I am trying to be an LLC. I don't have a crew, but I do work, and I would love to collaborate with other visual artists.
Yeah. I guess that's what I meant, because I saw you that night. You just had fellow creatives that were helping you, though, and so that kind of is a crew,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is a crew, and people that I can reach out to and rely on, and I want to be that person that go to, if someone needs help directing or someone needs help.
And I want to be that too. I don't want to speak for Sheldon, but like, dude, I would love to help you out with stuff, for real.
If you ever need help, man.
It's really, I'm still new to it. I'm still new to collaborating, but I know that a lot of the visuals and I'm like, oh, this is great. I like this. Like, this makes me happy. Comes from working with other people.
Right.
I mean, one of my biggest goals is to kind of build on what I have, work with other people, most importantly, because I don't think there's a point in just kind of just doing it myself. I don't think I could get as far by doing it myself. But also travel. Like, I love to travel.
Nice.
I want to keep doing it. Like, a lot of my money goes into my business. A lot of it, whether it's personally or for business, I would love to travel. And a lot of my money goes towards that. And I really want to shoot a music video in South Korea. Like, I just
Yeah.
This on my story, like, it's got to happen next year. It's got to happen next year.
Nice.
I got to be out there. I got to be doing some cool shit, man.
Right.
I got to be out there.
Seoul's the place to be right now, man. Seoul and Busan.
With the Korean artist?
Yeah. Why not? I mean, I wouldn't want to... I mean, I don't know if I'd bring... Well, it'd be cool if it was, like, an American artist collaborating with a Korean artist.
Imagine he does BTS next video.
Dude, that'd be wild, bro.
That'd be nuts.
They got some really, really great videos.
Oh, yeah.
I was not a big fan of K-pop. Right. And I'm not, like, diehard for anyone, but except for K-pop artists that aren't really doing K-pop, they're doing, like, K-rap.
J Park.
J Park, that's my guy. J Park and Sick K. And
yeah, I know who that is.
DPR Live. Their music videos are really interesting.
Yeah.
I just want to be out there. I know I have, it sounds very American, but I have a lot to offer.
Hey!
Shameless plug.
Yo, Koreans, I have a lot to offer. Check me out.
A couple weeks ago, because my girlfriend, she's white, but she's been learning Korean. One of her best friends is Korean, and she's getting her doctorate in physical therapy. And where she currently works, she has a good amount of Korean patients, so she wanted to make work easier, so she's been learning Korean. And we saw the BTS in New York, was that 3 weeks ago?
Nice.
Fam, that shit was crazy.
Must be nice.
Like, it was, I hated it and loved it at the same time. Like, because I hated it because there was 100,000 screaming people there. Loved it because they put on, I've never seen a show like that.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
That shit was crazy.
They're dedicated, and I love how they implement dance, because that's really big.
Yeah.
Dance, like.
And I fuck with dancing heavy.
Yeah.
I fuck with dance heavy.
Yeah, I need to take you guys to the Silverback Open this year.
What is that?
That is the...
I know Silverback Gorilla.
Silverback Open is you would actually love it, man. Silverback Open is at a warehouse, kind of like in this place in Philadelphia that's like a little ways from the city. It's like a 20-minute drive, and it is the international b-boy competition.
I'm there.
And
it's
free to attend.
Yeah,
it's free to attend. Chinese people show up.
You could tell me it was $100. I'm still going.
Chinese people show up,
right?
And they wreck house. It's crazy. Like, you have Australian people. I was there for the first time this year. Tickets are free. You just need to go on the website and say like what day you want to be there, and you can just come and show up. It's a bunch of people chilling. So
you had me as soon as you said warehouse and international.
Yeah,
it's sick, man.
Because I had a feeling I knew what was coming next.
It's sick, dude. I just went there by myself this year, and I was like, this is amazing,
bro. Sometimes when you do stuff like on the solo dolo, you find some good stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
That's a good point.
City life, man. But yeah, we're gonna wrap up, Ace, just because it's 10 o'clock right now, and I got work tomorrow. But real quick, man, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I believe in you, and I believe in your ideas, man. Because when I go on your Instagram page,
keep inspiring us, and just keep doing your thing, man.
Yeah,
stay creative, stay true.
I see special stuff on there, man. So like, I'm very happy that you came on.
Man.
Real quick, man, just plug everything. If you have a YouTube channel, like all that, just so people know, dude. So.
Well, my YouTube channel is Aceadelic Productions. My Instagram is Aceadelic, and I'm hardly on Twitter, but _Aceadelic. I have a couple of stuff coming out this summer that I'm really excited for. Some music videos with Knowledge and Eli. A couple others with a couple other music videos with new artists. But that's really a big goal this summer.
All right.
Popping out some great music videos.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I have a really good friend that's going to be on this podcast soon, but we always treat summer like New Year's. Like, we make like all our resolutions and all our goals. So that's cool, man. Stay creative. Thank you guys for watching. This has been episode 68 with your boy Ace and Sheldon and yours truly. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.